Hi guys, it's Julia from Julia's Palette Studio. Apologize for the bright beet red eyeballs. I've got sinus stuff going on. But I am here today to do a demonstration of a technique that I like to use in watercolor for backgrounds. And I learned it a long time ago. I used it in several of my paintings. I haven't done it in a while, but I thought this would be a great technique for you guys to add to your repertoire of skills in watercolor painting. You can also do this if you're going to do use liquid acrylics. If you use them like watercolor, you can do this for that as well. But I'm just going to concentrate on watercolor right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some tissue paper, some watercolor paint, I've got some Elmer's glue and water here so that when the tissue paper is dry, we can put it down on our surface of watercolor paper. And what else? So I've picked out some paints that I'm going to use for this. I've actually, I didn't do a full drawing on my paper. I just did like a basic outline because that'll guide me as to where I want to lay this down. But it's my tissue paper background technique. I really don't have a fancy word for it. If you want to come up with one, by all means, but tissue paper, tissue, I can't even talk. Sorry, I had a long day at work and I wanted to get this in for your November demo. Last day of November, I apologize. I have been sick and working a lot and had to do it. I had to do it today. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get started. I'm just going to go over the materials that we're going to use, okay? And let me show you what I got here, okay? First, I'm going to go to my palette table. So, what you're going to need is tissue paper that's not shiny, okay? I want the single layer tissue paper, but it doesn't have a shiny background to it or backing to it. Some of them that you get are a little shiny. I've used that as well, but for the paint absorption, I like this better. I like to use this better. So get a couple sheets of this. And I'm going to show you two different things. I'm going to show you with some paint and then just putting it down without any paint so you just get a textured background. Okay? And then we're going to move over to the painting table. Now, I realize that my painting table here is really bright. I'm trying to figure out how to tone that down. But I've got a little bit of an outline here. Let me see if I can turn this off. What happens if I turn this off? Oh, no, which one is it that's causing all the... Okay, so I'm going to adjust the camera, but I've got my watercolor paper here, okay? It's my watercolor paper. I have my palette right here. Here's my palette. And let's see. There we go. That's a little better. Oh, now let's get this in there more. Pull that down. Okay, so when I'm doing this, I'll definitely pull the palette over or the paper over so you guys get a better idea. And I am going to bring the brightness down on this a little bit, okay? There you go. At least you can see a little bit of the drawing there, right? Okay. Okay. So you're seeing it pretty accurate right now because I transferred this flower onto the watercolor paper using the Serral paper, which is a blue colored chalk paper. I have a piece right here that I can show you. It's this is the side that you draw on, and this is the blue chalk side. Okay, I like using this better than graphite because I'm heavy-handed, and this comes up a lot easier. So I use this. I laid it down on top like that, and then I traced over it like that. So this, wow, now my picture's really yellow. That is not cool. I don't like that. That was wild how that did that. That blue totally changed that to yellow. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to show you the first thing. So we're going to go back here, and what I want you to do is take your paper, and I want you to really scrunch it up really tight, okay? Because I want texture here, okay? So we're going to take this, and we're going to just undo it now. I'm going to undo it, and I'm going to pull it out so that I've got a lot of really cool texture. And you'll see why this is, why I like it this way, why I like to do it this way. So that is that right there. So that's the first step, okay? After the drawing, of course. So that's the first step. And then the second step is, after you've got your drawing laid out, I'm going to set this aside for a minute right here. I'm just going to move it over. After you have your drawing laid out, think about what kind of colors you're going to want to use, okay? Since that is a floral and I'm going to put it in the background, I'm actually going to grab one more color here. And I'm going to grab a pink. I don't know if I'll end up using it, but okay, so what I've chosen, because it's a floral and I want to put this texture tissue paper technique in the background, I'm going to use some greens, some blues, and I'm going to throw in some pink too, because the flower is pink. And so I'm going to take another palette. Okay, I'm going to clear this off. And I'm going to take I don't know if you guys, okay, so I don't know if you guys have a mud tray or not, but Jack Richardson makes this fabulous giant mud tray, and I like using this mud tray for this technique. It's quite large. If I turn it, maybe you can get a better idea of it. But this is made by Jack Richardson, and it's called a mud tray. So this it's not super duper expensive, but for me it's invaluable, because even if you're doing smaller sheets of watercolor and you don't have a sink in your studio, you can actually use this to soak your paper a little bit too. So, okay, so I'm going to take some paint here, and I'm going to put down some Hooker's Green Dark. I'm going to put down some of that, just a little bit. And I'm going to take some, and this one's Ultramarine Turquoise. And I'm going to put that down here. Let's see, I can put it down. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to put it right there because that looks like that's another one. And then one of my favorite greens. I like to mix my greens a lot, but this one is one of my favorites. It's Daniel Smith Phthalo Yellow Green. I love this color. And I'm going to put that over here. Down there. Oops, there's a lot in the cap. Okay, it's just a brilliant bright green. I absolutely love it. Ooh, okay, I'll have to fix that. Got a little goopy. Okay, get that off my finger. before I get it on anything. And so I got that. Now I'm going to take some peacock blue. And I'm going to put that over here, right there. It's a beautiful blue. And I'm going to take some cadmium yellow pale. This is an opaque, semi-opaque paint. Or maybe it's opaque. So you don't, when you do something like this and you do anything with watercolor, you don't want to do use a lot of opaque paints, especially when you're mixing, because they turn to mud really fast. So I'm going to put this one in the middle, right there. And I'm going to take the pink and I'm going to put it over here. Now my idea is I want juicy puddles, okay? I want to get some juicy puddles going. So I'm going to put some, just a little bit of water in that. And some in that. You want to make sure your surface of your palette is flat, which I'm praying that this watercolor board that I'm working on isn't warped. We're going to do that, and we're going to add some there to that. Make sure you've got paper towel handy so that if your paint does start running into each other, like that, you can put a stop to it, because I don't want to contaminate that. So, okay, that's got a little, obviously this watercolor board is not 100% flat. Okay, so got my paper towel, and I got my mud tray. And so in my mud tray, I'm going to spray some water, okay? I'm going to put some water down. If you have another palette like this, you can definitely use another one to do this, okay? But you need two surfaces, one to mix up your paint and another one for the tissue. So I'm going to spray some water into here. Get it nice and moist. I don't want a big giant puddle, but I definitely want it wet. Okay, I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to take this brush and bring some water over here. Here's my water. Okay, so I'm just going to mix up, and I'm just going to put it random. It's kind of like, I'm just going to put some in there, right there. And maybe I'm going to put another bit right in there, right there. Now when you're putting down the paint, just remember that complementary colors mixed together make neutrals, okay? And I don't want to make a brown, so I want to keep that, I want to keep the pink paint away from the green as much as possible. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I would like to. So I'm just going to put that in there. I'm going to do this. So I think I'm going to put the green over, the pink I mean, over in here. So this pink here is opaque. This is a definite opaque color. And I'm going to put some, whoa, big chunk. Don't want that. I don't want that, okay? So my idea with this, hopefully it might not work, but my thought is that, you know, the buds on the flowers are pink as well, and maybe some of this tissue paper background will pick up some of that, and then we can get, I'm going to put that yellow right in there, right in here. I can do this and that, right there like that. Like that. Put some of that. That's too thick. That's really thick. Let's get some of that paint off. Ugh. I don't want to waste the paint. I hate that. But I want that off. Now I'm going to pick up some
some of this right here. This is that turquoise
It's a beautiful color. Beautiful color. It's okay if it's over there. I'm going to put some in here. It's kind of a green blue. Oh, don't want that. Okay, I'll put some more in there. Okay. And let's put some more pink. You know what? Let's see what happens. I'll put some pink in the corners there. I see what's happening in the corner. I don't think you can see it, but it's becoming like neutral. All right. And we got some beautiful colors going in there. Let's just take some of that and put it right in there. And let's put some more of that right in there, like that. And maybe go in there like that. And I'm going to add some more. I'm going to add some more of this, because I like this one too. It's beautiful. Let's add that in there. And it's like, we don't know what we're going to get, but we're just going to throw color in there. A little bit more of that there. And I want more yellow, actually, right in there. And I want some there. Okay. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my mud tray and I'm going to tilt it just a little bit. A little forward, like this. That's a little bit. Little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. Just a touch. And I'm going to take my tissue paper. Let's move this over more. Let's get the palette out of the way. Move this over more. Let's see. Alright, and I'm going to lay, there's a lot of that green in there. I'm going to lay this, let's go this way. I want to show you this. I want to get some of this down in here. So I'm going to take my tissue and I'm going to lay it down into the well here. And I'm just going to go like this, like that, like this. I mean, it's kind of messy. It's a little bit messy. But it's so pretty when it's dry, when it's done. It's such a pretty technique to use. Okay, I'm going to get some more in there. So I'm kind of going to soak up as much as I can. You can do, like if you wanted to, you could stop and leave a bunch of white spaces. You don't have to fill up the whole thing. Or you can just move it around and get as much color onto this as you can. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Put that in there like just, oops, it ripped. You got to be careful because you're going to have to be careful because it will rip. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay that in there and leave it and let it dry a little bit. Okay. Let it dry. Okay, like that, like that. Okay. And since I have some left over, I don't want to mess this up right here, but I do want to use some of this in here. So I'm just going to tilt that forward and tilt this down. To get another piece, I can use this like, let's see, I'm just going to tilt it as much as I can, right? And same idea. I'm going to take tissue. Let's see how we're getting some neutrals in here with the pink and the green that mix together. Now, like I said, this pink here, this paint is an opaque brilliant pink. And I'm going to take my tissue paper and I'm going to scrunch it up again like that and undo it. Like this. Here. Oh! Okay. Alright. So now I'm going to take that. I don't want to get those big... I don't want those areas right there. I don't want to get that. So I'm just going to press it down and avoid the big pieces of paint right there. So I'm avoiding the pink. That I'm just going to take the paint from in here. Okay, so I can always rip this off and do smaller areas at another time, you know. So I got that one down, and I'm going to leave that. Okay. Okay, so obviously it is a bit messy, so you're going to want to have paper towels handy so you can clean up your hands. You can wear gloves if you want to, but I never do. I should probably, but I just never do. I don't like gloves. I just feel like I don't have control as much when I wear gloves, so I don't like to wear them. Okay, so we're going to let these dry. And I'm going to show you a couple things. What happens when it dries, okay? So we are going to, I'll be right back, and I'm going to show you some pieces of finished product. Okay, I'm back, and the idea is, if you're doing this outside and it's not a windy day, it's awesome that if you can lift it off while it's still wet and like hang it up to dry. Or if you have like a place in your studio where you have something that you can lay it over and let it dry, that's awesome too. I don't have a place like that in this little studio here of mine, this little workspace. So what I did was I took the hairdryer and just gently went over it till it got dry enough where I could lift it off. Now this paper is really thin. And I tried to lift it when it was wet, and it was literally ripping, like just tearing. So I dried it as much as I could. I didn't want to melt my tray. So I am going to, well, look at the gorgeous print that it left on the mud tray. Wow, is that pretty? Maybe I could get a relief print from that, like just spray it and lay another piece down. Wouldn't that be pretty? See all those that beautiful texture area there? That's gorgeous. Or maybe I could lay it. I'm gonna do something with that. Never let a good thing go to waste, right? This is sticking right here and it is tearing the paper a little bit, but that's okay because you're gonna tear it anyway. So I'm lifting this up, letting it dry. After it dried. Okay, so here we have the finished tissue. It's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. It needs to dry just a little bit longer. Just a touch. Because that looks really wet right there. This part, that's not too bad. But look at the detail here. Isn't this beautiful? There's so many beautiful textures going on in there with the colors mixing, and it's really gorgeous. Just beautiful. And then we got the pinks mixed here with that turquoise, so you've got a little bit of that soft lavender going on. But just a gorgeous texture to work with. It's just beautiful. So I'm going to show you what to do with that one. And then the other thing that you can do too is just, if you just want plain texture and like do your wash, your background wash over texture, then what we're going to do is just apply the tissue to the watercolor paper, and then you can do your background wash over that. And that's another really great technique. So I'm going to pause this for a minute. I'm going to get some samples to show you of things pieces of paper that I've already done. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I want to talk about these. These are some other ones that I've done. This one doesn't have any paint on it. Well, not much anyway, but I saved it because, you know, I might want to tear off some areas and use them to paint over. So here, and I do keep small pieces because sometimes I'll add small pieces to a painting in different areas. So I keep my favorite parts. Also, if you do watercolor collage at all, this is a beautiful way to get just gorgeous effects for collage, which is a lot of fun to do. You're still using watercolor paint. Look at this beautiful piece. I mean, this is so pretty. I don't know if you can see it. It's not as colorful on camera right here as it is when I lay it down on the paper, but I just love doing this. If you have homemade, or I'm sorry, not homemade, but handmade paper, you can do it on handmade paper as well. That's a different demo. And here's another piece. This is pretty heavily saturated with paint, but it's a beautiful piece that you can use in a painting or in a collage. And I'm not crazy about every aspect of this one because the colors aren't mixed enough for me, but I do like the texture that I'm seeing in these parts there. And if you had like a little area that you wanted to add a punch of interest to with texture, this would be great to use. So that's another one. And yeah, I got lots of this color. And let's see what else. And then these are some of the softer ones that I did. Just really soft color. I wouldn't be using this right there, that orange. I wouldn't be using that, but I would do areas of this in here. And then again, just a real soft color. So these are on, that's another demo. I'll show you that another time. So yeah, these are all these really cool things that you can do with tissue paper and watercolor. This has got great texture here. It almost looks like tie-dye. Definitely almost looks like tie-dye. I have a tendency to always go towards my favorite colors when I'm doing this. Funny how that works out. I love the colors of the ocean. I love purples. I love pinks. So I'm going to show you what, and actually I think I'm going to use some of these to show you in this demo because these are some of the colors I want in my background behind the flower. So I think I'm going to do that. Keep some of these aside. Right, like that. Put these away. Yep, I'll put these away. Use them for another time. I have like a big box that I keep. I make a bunch of this stuff. I play around. Like when I get bored, I just make a bunch up and then I keep them. And then, you know, if I want to do this or do a collage or something, then I can always add it. This is the second one I did from the metal palette. Which I'm really liking this action in here. I'm really liking it. It obviously I didn't get as much as the other, but I'm really liking the texture that I'm seeing in here and the color. I'm not going to use this area right there, obviously. I accidentally got the tissue in that blob of paint. But, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of this out. Actually, I can just tear it maybe. I like torn edges better, especially when you're laying this stuff down on a painting. You can pretty much manipulate this to where you want it to be and where you want it to go. I'm going to take that, and of course I always save these because I can use them again. And when I die, when I'm hopefully a long time from now, they're going to come into my house and they're going to find all these scraps of paper everywhere with color on them because I think they're beautiful and I don't have the heart to throw them away. It's like I see an object around the house and it's like, oh my goodness, I could use that for this. And then I keep it. Sometimes I get to it and I try it out. Other times it's still like in my stash of things waiting to try. So I'm just kind of ripping this willy-nilly, okay? Put that aside. I'm going to get rid of that yellow blotch. I like this one spot though. I don't want to get rid of that. There's a couple parts to this I want to keep. I always fall in love with color and texture and pattern. I just want to rip that one out, okay? Because when I lay it down on the paper, I don't want a bunch of yellow paint eking out. I'm going to get that too. Get rid of that. Yep, got onto my finger. Okay, get rid of that. Get rid of this here. I don't need that. You don't want these big clumps of paint because it will, when you're applying it to the watercolor paper with the glue and water mixture. Okay, so this is good. I think I'm going to use this piece here, and I'm going to use some of this. Okay, so what I've got going here, I know you can't see it very well. I'm going to show you the tracing of it. It's not, okay, so this is what I used, okay? This is how I start paintings. I always draw on the watercolor, on the tracing paper first, and then I flip it over and do the pencil bit, or I just take that Cero paper underneath, place it underneath, and then draw again to transfer it onto the watercolor paper. But this is what I put down for the most part, and I'm going to be hoping to add these textures in the background behind the flower, okay? Over some of the leaf areas. If I have to retrace those areas, that's fine. But I think getting some of this down would add really beautiful texture to the leaves. So this is what my goal is, and actually I've decided I'm not going to use this color at all. I could use that one because it's green, but I don't really want purple in there. Yeah, for the most part, I'm going to put these away right there, okay? Because that's not my goal. That's not my color goal, so to speak. And I'm going to set these aside over here. And I'm going to move this, get this out of the way for you. Okay, so now what I want to do, oops, it's upside down. Sorry, folks, this is upside down. That's why I wasn't seeing it right. So now what I'm going to do, I kind of an idea based on my drawing where I'm going to keep this drawing handy right here. Okay, so I kind of have an idea of where everything's going to go. And I'm going to take my Elmer's glue with water, okay? And the idea here is you don't want to get the mixture of the Elmer's glue and water on top of the tissue paper, because the Elmer's glue will then resist watercolor paint. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to use this for now. This is a piece of Yupo paper, and I'm going to use this so I can always wipe it off clean. I'm going to use this. This has got acrylic on it, so I'm not worried about the paint coming up. So I'm going to use this to use to do my glue. And get rid of the white paper pieces here, and I'm going to start taking some areas here. And so I have a lot of, it's all in here. So I could do it right in there like that. So for now, I'm just going to lay it down. I'm going to take some of this. I'm going to take an old crummy brush. Don't use a good watercolor brush for this. Do not use a good watercolor brush. I use an acrylic brush. And my favorite brush to use, here it is. This is my favorite brush to use. Okay, so I've got some, I'm going to wipe this up. All right, I'm going to wipe that up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, oh, it's almost like there's a leak. All right, so this is an old jar, empty jar of gel medium that I converted into the glue water mixture. I'll have to make a note of that on the top of the jar. Don't you go in there, puppy. No, no. So I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to take the brush, get some water on it. Put that there. Okay, take that, some glue mixture, and I can't really tell which is the front or the back. I can't tell. This is the back, I think. So I'm going to take the paper and I'm going to brush it with the Elmer's glue and the water. Okay, I'm going to move that up so you can see it a little better. Okay. I'm just going to do that. Like that. And like I said, you don't want to get the glue on top. It would be great if I had, it would be ideal if you had a different surface. Now this part's tricky, okay guys? This part is tricky. It's transferring it now over to this here because it's so thin. It's really thin. So I'm just gonna lay it. Ay, ay, ay. It's the tricky part. Okay. And glue side down. I almost did it wrong. Okay. So that's where I think it's going to go, is right there. And I'm going to lay it down. Ooh, that's a mess. Ay. And I got another little piece there. It's okay. Oh, that one's not wet enough. Okay. Never mind. You want to have enough glue so that it goes down on the paper. Okay. Now see, there's a lot of paint there, so there's a lot of green going down. And you're just going to take your brush and put it down like that. And it's okay if the paper's not totally flat, guys, because you want that texture, okay? But I want to lay it and get it glued down so that there's no bubbles coming up anywhere. So I'm going to just lift this up a little bit, put a little more glue and water down there. There. And then rinse your brush so you don't get, I don't really want the glue on there, so I'm just gonna, and then when it dries, if there's pieces that did not glue down as much as you wanted to, you can either lift it back up, lift it, take it off, or put more down. Okay, so let's put something, another color down. Okay, so there's green in there, but I do want to come in, I want to put another, no, actually that's the petal right there, but there is more down here, so I'm going to add more down there. And I think I'm just going to use, I'm going to do this one. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of measure it out a little bit. I think I'm going to do that. Let's take this and rip some of that off. You're always going to be adding more paint, so you don't have to worry if you don't get everything down, okay guys? And I'm going to cut this. Ooh. Yeah, brilliantly thinking I'm going to cut it, but I got to find my little X-Acto knife. I'm just going to cut it right like this. There. Cut that off. Set it aside. Okay, so now I definitely know where that's going to go. Right? I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to try just holding it in my hand. Actually, I'm going to lay it down again. Because this tissue is super thin, it is a little tricky to get up once you lay down the glue. So you got to be a little gingerly with it. Yep. I use glue and water because using matte medium for this, it's a little expensive and you don't need that. You don't need the overkill of the matte medium. So we're going to lift this up and lay it down right. Oops. I kind of want it on the edge. There. Up as much as I can. Like that. Maybe, well, just lift it up a little bit. Pull it back down a little bit. And I like texture, so if I'm getting lines, it's totally okay with me because I'm going to get great texture when I add more paint. It'll be really pretty. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little more glue under there. Yep. Okay. Okay. And when I'm done, I will show you a painting where I did this in the background. This nice, there we go. That one. Okay, so I got those two spots laid down. Just rip some of that off. Okay, now where else can I put some? I see some up here, okay, and then there's a lot of it. There's a lot of it right here, but I don't want it everywhere. I am going to put, I'm going to incorporate some of these pieces. I don't know which one is the, usually the paler side is the side that is the wrong side, but I'm just going to lay some of these down just for fun. And if I think the color's off a little bit, guess what? I can always add more color over this, right? I can always do that. Right, I can always do that. Usually when you collage, You have to really get get it as flat as possible. But with this one, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to stick it. Actually, I'm going to put it right in here, right there, right at the edge of that, up, sticking to my finger. I don't want it to stick to my finger. There we go. I'm going to do that. Yep. Such a pretty color. Oh my gosh. Look at those beautiful colors. We're going to lay that down. Oh, you can't even see it. Sorry, guys. So sorry. You couldn't even see what I was doing. Okay. So there's that. And I do know I have to add a little bit more of this under here. Right? And I also, I don't want it, you know, when you're doing this technique, just like anything else, please don't overdo it. Because when you overdo it, then it becomes a gimmick. Okay? You just want to do it so that you get interest. Okay? It's just to add something that piques the curiosity of the viewer and they want to see more. If you do it all over your painting, guess what? It just became boring. You don't want that. You want whatever you're doing to be intriguing, and you want them to keep looking. Okay, see, I want to add more glue there because I see a bubble. Okay. That's what you kind of want to look for, like this edge here. I want to glue that down a little bit more. Just lift it up a little bit. And then tap it down. There we go. Okay. So let's see. Okay. I'm going to take this color now. Nope. Let's put this. I'm going to put this one down here. I have to put, now that I put this color here, I'm going to have to repeat it somewhere else in the painting. And I like the fact that this is sort of like an organic leaf shape. So I am going to use it, and I'm going to use it actually right here. I see a spot right there. I'm going to go for it right there. I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to use my hand. I'm going to use my hand for this. Yeah, you always, once you add something, you can't just add it in one spot, really. You have to add it in several other spots so that, you know, keeps the eyes of the viewer constantly traveling. And if it is one color in one spot, just, I mean, there are times when you do it on purpose like that, but not in the background, because then what happens is the viewer's going to go to that color, and because it's not harmonious and somewhere else, they won't go anywhere else. And guess what? This just got too wet. Oh, so I don't even know. I like doing it. Uh-oh. No, that didn't work. I don't think that's going to work at all. No. Nope. 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 Okay, that's a waste. That's the bad part of these thin pieces of paper. So next time we're just going to do it like we did before. Lay it down on the Yupo paper where it disappeared. Where'd it go? There it is. Lay it down on the Yupo paper and do it that way. Otherwise, it's going to stick all over your hands. And when you're done, please make sure you rinse out your brush. You wash it real well. Otherwise, it's a goner. Oh, don't want that. Right? Okay. Oh, don't want that. Got to be gentle. I hope you guys want to try this. It's a beautiful technique. It can be a little frustrating sometimes when... Okay, here we go. Let me take this, move that, move this down again. And I'm going to do it on an angle like this. Hey. Oh my goodness, it's just sticking to my fingers. Okay, that's the tricky part. That's the tricky part. Yeah, when you mix the glue with water, you're still going to get it to lay down and stick. And hopefully you don't get too much of it on there. There. Okay, I'm going to rinse my brush again, get the glue out of it. That, for me, composition-wise, right here, I don't like that at all. It's like I got one piece going that way and one piece going that way. So I definitely have to do something to break that up, because right now, looking at that, I do not like that. So I need one or two more of that color. So let's see. Okay, I got this one, this piece I can use, and I'll use a piece of this. Yeah, I don't like that, how it goes, just looks like horns on the flower. I don't like it. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Well, you know what? This is all leaves in here, except for this piece right down here. There's a bud down here. But this is all leaves. I can lay that right in there like that. Maybe I should do, because there is such a big leaf, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this piece here. Wait a minute. Let's do this like that. No, wait a minute. No, because this is the... Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to take that. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to just rip it, because I don't want the whole thing on there. Let's just do that. Take that and move it. And I'm going to take that, turn it upside down. Okay, put this on here. Get my brush again. So, okay, get my brush again. Whenever I work, I'm always running out of space. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I renewed my lease. Well, I did it a month ago, so I have until April. I did it for 6 months, and got to figure out where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do. Obviously, wherever I go, I have to have a room for a studio. That's a no-brainer. Gotta have a space where I can spread out and create. So if you guys, I've been trying to move up north for the past, over a year and a half. Been trying to move up there so I can have the opportunity to do workshops at Crooked Tree Art Center again and maybe teach some classes. I love doing that, but it's been really difficult to find a place up there in Petoskey Harbor Springs because it's such a resort area, and for obvious reasons, because it's so beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it right, I'll do it right there, right there. Oops, you guys aren't seeing that again. It's just stuck to my finger again. Right here. All right. It's kind of doubling up a little bit. Like I kind of like overlapped it, which is okay. And then you'll just get more texture when you add paint. So that's okay. Just want to make sure you get all these edges down. That. And it's okay that it's ripped. I don't mind because it adds interest. And I'm just going to make sure that it's glued down like that. You can do abstract paintings like this, you know, like abstract collages using this technique. It does not have to be a flower painting. You could do a big, or usually, if you're going to do something like this in abstract and watercolors, usually you want to do something relatively bigger in scale, at least 20 by 16. You don't want something really small. There. Okay, so that's that one. It kind of already looks like the leaf shape, and it even looks like, you know, some of the, there's another remnant from another piece of work that I'm doing. Okay, it almost looks like a leaf right there, you know. All right, so now I'm going to incorporate this color up here, and this is going to go, I'm going to kind of cut a leaf shape out of this. So I'm just going to take it and I'm going to tear it into like a leaf shape. And I don't have to be perfect, but let's just do that. Save that. See, I'm going to save the scrap. I might even use it somewhere else in here. Okay. Get the Watercolor paper again so I can lay it down. Whoop, can't see what I'm doing again. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm just applying that on that. My dogs are being really good. Knock on wood. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Usually they bark when they hear a noise like that. Okay, Julia, don't do that. You don't want them barking. No, they've been real good. They were sleeping right underneath my feet, but I don't know where they went. Okay, so I got this little piece here. Looks kind of like a leaf. And I'm going to put that one right up there. Where can I put that? Right in there. Okay. So this one is going to be laying right in here. We're going to do this right in there. Just lay it down. Lay it down. Oh, it's stuck to my finger. Arr. Gotta get my brush. Oh, my finger was too sticky. Goodness. Okay, it's gonna tear. Alright, well. Alright. I'm not gonna worry about flattening that out because it'll just tear. Yep, so we're just flattening it down onto the paper. Oh gosh, sorry guys again. I didn't realize every time I do something, you don't see it. Okay, so that's just kind of an idea. Oh, that needs more. Okay. There. Okay, I like that too. They're all going in the same direction though, which I don't like, but I can fix that. And I'm going to put some of this color and this color down here. Down in here. This is the pink area right here. I know that's got pink in it. Where's the pink in that? Where's that piece? Okay. Where's that? I'm going to get that big sheet that we did right here. I'm going to take this part. Let's cut this one out. Right here with the yellow. I'm going to tear this right here. We're going to use this one. I'm going to tear this out. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to look at my drawing again. I'm always referring to my sketch here. And according to my sketch, the bud is right in here. So this would be a great spot for that pink. And nope, it's going that way. So I'm going to do this. And you know what? I'm going to lay that whole thing right there like that. The whole thing. Absolutely. I'm not going to worry about, I don't want a straight edge though. So I'm going to get rid of the straight edge. We don't want a straight edge, okay? You want organic, irregular edges. You don't want a straight edge. Okay, got rid of the straight edge. Now we're going to put it down. And that pink pretty much goes off the page. Here's the drawing again, okay? And here's the bud right there. So that's where this is going to go. It's going to go underneath that leaf, and it's going to go off the page a little bit. Okay, so that's where my plan is to put it. All right, so get that. Put the solution on it. Get it nice. And try not to get my hand on it so that it dries and gets sticky. Don't want that. Nope, don't want that. Yeah, I just don't know where I'm going to go, guys. If you have any ideas of where someone can live relatively, you know, I don't have the funds to live extravagantly. I would even be willing to like live in a pole barn, like a big pole barn, obviously, that has plumbing, a bathroom, electricity and heat. And then, you know, I mean, that's more important to me, having just a big giant room to work in where I could put my furniture, my bed, and be able to work on painting and get a job and just have my puppies with me. I would be so happy. And I mean, yeah, I'm even willing to do that. It's not, I could decorate it, you know, on the inside. As long as it was warm, as long as it had a bathroom. Obviously, it probably wouldn't have a shower or anything. That would be tough, but I don't know. Maybe some pole barns have a finished bathroom. I don't know. But if you know of anybody, I'm looking. Either that or who knows where I'm gonna go. Okay, so here's this one. I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. See, you can see right here where the glue is right there, that some of the paint came off right there. I don't know if you can see it on the paper. So I don't really want to get glue. I'll lift that up just very gently. And then, uh-oh. There. Get it back down. Well, some of it folded over on itself. But if you try to fight it, then you're just going to make matters worse. So, okay, I'm liking that a lot. And that's where the pink bud is too. So that'll help in that area. That'll be a nice little addition there. And Okay, so one more piece. Whoops, one more piece somewhere. Obviously, I can add more if I want to. And there's more of the green down. There's some in here. I could put some in there, right in there. All right, I think I'm going to do 2 more spots, guys. 2 more spots of the green. And then, do I have any more green from the other one? I got this one I can use somewhere. I have this one. But I don't want it going in that direction. I could put it in here. Or I could put it, nope. I'm going to tear. I could put it right there. I'll just take that piece off right there. Put that down. I know this might seem like it takes forever, but the results are really cool. And I am gonna put some plain white down just on one area. So, oh, I just forgot where I was gonna put that. Okay, so I'm gonna do this right like this. All right, we're gonna go like that right there. Oh, there's my sticky hand again. There goes my sticky hand. Got stuck to my hand. I don't want that there. There. Oops, got some green on there. That's the thing with watercolor is here. It comes off, so you got to be careful when you're doing this. But if you're going to enter a watercolor show, you do have to use watercolor. You can't use acrylic with this technique. You can do this with acrylic, but then it becomes an acrylic piece or a mixed media piece, and then you can't enter it into a watercolor show. So you kind of got to stick to the program and the medium of choice, whether, you know, I mean, there's a lot of mixed media shows out there. But if you like watercolor paintings and you want to start showing, then just stick to watercolor paint. But you're going to have to be aware that that the paint will come off, but you're going to be adding more paint to it anyway, so it's not as big of an issue. Okay, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add some more. I'm going to add some of that pink up here because it's a pink flower, and I'm just going to add some pink in there. Yep. I'm going to tear off some pink. I'm going to lay it in there. Get rid of the straight edges. I don't want straight edges. Don't want straight edges. I'm going to put this over there. Okay. I'm going to add more. And I'm going to put the pink. Let's see. Looking at my drawing. I think I'm going to put the pink in here. Maybe. And I can do this because... Nope, I don't want that there. Nope, I don't want green there. I just want pink there. Yep, I just want pink. I don't want green. Okay. Oh, I don't want to make a mess either. Let's see. All right, so I got my spot for the... I got to get rid of this right here because I don't want a straight edge. Just rip that off. Keep it away from your dogs. They love, love finding paper and chewing paper. Don't know what it is, but all right, I'm gonna do this. Gonna add this there. Okay, I pretty much don't want to do too much more of this because I don't want it to become a gimmick. Like I said, I don't want a gimmick. I just want some interest. All right. Okay. Get this pink up. Gently, gently, gently. Pick up the pink and lay it in here like this. Up. Lay it in there like that. Oh, that part, we don't want it on that part, so I'm going to tear that. And I'm going to tear this right there. I'm going to tear it because I don't want it on that. Nope. That's almost purple, but guess what? This part might be in shadow, so that might be perfect for that, right? And then the leaves start at the edge. So that I'm going to take that out of there. I'm just going to rip it out. Take it right off. There. Okay. And that. Move that over. There. Okay. Just make sure I get it down. Right. Okay. There's that. And see, I've done it a lot of times where I've laid down the wash first, the background, and then I add this again, and then I add more background color. And I've also done it where I've just laid the paper down first like this, and then I did the wash in the background. So I've done it both ways. I don't have a favorite. Not at all. I don't have a favorite at all. I want this bright green one more place. This almost looks too much turquoise, like there's too much turquoise going on up here. Like, definitely looks like there's too much. Well, let's see. Well. Okay, so I'm going to take some green. Take some of that bright green, and I'm taking this swatch right here. Let's take this. All right. Right here. Right there. Okay, I think this is going to be the last piece I put down. I think it's going to be the last piece. Yeah, okay, so this is the painted side. This is the, oh, goodness gracious, I can't tell. I can't tell. Okay, I guess it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm getting rid of the straight edge. Getting rid of the straight edge. Oops. I guess if you knew exactly where you were going to lay this down, you could paint that. I've never done it. Maybe I should try it. Paint it on the paper and then lay this down. Maybe I should do that. Just try it. I mean, it can't hurt. Let's see. What is there? That is a... I'm going to look at my drawing again, guys. Sorry, I don't want to put it in the wrong spot. So that's green there. That's green and yellow. That's a big leaf shape. Wait. Actually, that's a very cool texture right there for that leaf. I'm just going to lay that down right. Let's just lay that down on top of I'm going to just let's do I'm going to lay it down like that. Let's rip a little bit off this way. You kind of have to shape it a little bit. I don't know what, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to put it like that. Okay? So I'm just going to lay it down. I'm going to try it. I've never done it this way. I don't see why not. I don't know why you can't do it that way. Put that down like that. There. And then do that. Right? It's probably a lot neater if I did it like that. Right? It's looking like it. So, let's see. Oh, I need some more there. Need some more. guys tell me if I have a, there we go. That's cool. That looks like a leaf. That looks like a leaf. So I'm going to have to like lay down my drawing again over this and just kind of pull out some of the lines so that I know where everything is. Or I can just look at my drawing for reference. There, that. Now this is obviously, I didn't fill in the whole leaf. I just laid this down and I'll just make that long leaf, and some of this will be in there and some of it won't, and you know, I'll just do it by color. And that is such a cool texture. Oh, that needs more. Okay, all right, so I said I was going to put down plain paper, but I'm not going to because I've got kind of a lot going right now. I don't want to add more paper because I don't want, oops, I didn't want to do that. You don't want the glue. Shoot. That's what happens when I talk too much. So, well, I could put, actually, okay, all right. So that's as far as I want to go with tissue right now, I think. I can always add more. I mean, it doesn't mean that, you know, that now I'm done and I need to push that down. Whoops, looks like there was a big air bubble, and you don't want those, okay? You don't want air bubbles. You want to get it as glued down as possible. There's another air bubble. We don't want that. Okay, there's another one. Okay, so we're going to let that dry, and then I'll be right back, and I'm going to show you a painting that has used this technique. So hang on and I'll be right back. Okay, so if all's working, you'll be able to see the picture right here, the painting that I did. This is a really old one. But I used a couple techniques in here, and one of them is this tissue paper where I laid it down, excuse me, and then painted over it. I did it in here. There's some of that in there going on. There's some of it in the background here. There's some up here. So that tissue paper is in this painting in several areas. There's also some wax crayon that I just kind of willy-nilly just put down in there. Just, you know, when you do something like that, you automatically loosen up your painting, because when you're not like putting something down in a specific spot and a specific, you know, when you just kind of willy-nilly take a wax crayon and just, you have opened yourself up to a more freer style to paint, and you're not going to get as caught up in detail and like I usually do. So that's a lot of fun. I believe the tissue paper is also up in here, okay? And then it also goes down in here in this lily, but it's totally fine. You know, it's a bad image quality. I apologize for that. But it just shows you, you know, when you lay it down, but then you put paint over it, you draw over it, and then you just have fun with it. It's just a really neat way, another technique to use to add texture, add interest, bursts of, like, you know, spots of color. It's just a lot of fun to do. And don't get intimidated. I know some of you, I hope you don't get too frustrated by the gluing down process. You know, it's part of it, but I think the end results are really, really nice. They're really fun. I have other collages on my website where I've done this technique. And I've also done it in my collages where I've used handmade papers. And I've taken the handmade paper, like the rice papers, and mixed up all the color on my palette, and then I laid the beautiful handmade papers down in the mishmash of color and let those dry, and they come out so beautiful. And with the fact that they already have the texture of the paper itself, some of them have patterns in it, and then you're adding that other interest of color. It's just a lot of fun to do it that way. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If I were to go ahead and paint that technique out, this video would have been really long. So I just wanted to show you how to start it, how to go about doing it, and then an end product of what you can get using this technique. So I hope you try it. And I am sorry that this November demo came out on the very last day. I'm very sorry. But like I said, I was sick for 2 weeks and really busy working and all that good stuff. And got to see my daughter and her little boy, who they live out of state, and her husband. And she's due on Christmas Eve, so that was just a wonderful thing that I got to do a couple days after Thanksgiving. So, okay, I look forward to seeing you again. I want to thank you for your support for my Patreon page. Without your support, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. And I know those who know me definitely know that painting is my passion. And aside from my children, it means everything to me. I don't know what I do without it. Brings me joy. So I hope painting is your passion, and if not yet, I hope it can become your passion, because it's just such a wonderful way to escape the negative stuff that's going on, and it's a wonderful way to connect with your spirit, your soul, God. It's just a beautiful way to open up your heart and soul to that creative process, and it's just very joyful. So thank you so much for your support in my Patreon page. It means the world to me. It really does. So, and if you guys hear of any good places where I should move to in April, let me know. I really, to be honest with you, I don't want to move at all, but I really don't. I wish I could just stay, but you know what? It'll all be well. So God bless you, and I'll see you soon, and thanks again for your support. Okay? Mwah. Love you guys.